Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, February 2nd, 2025, featuring Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, February 2nd, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 17th to January 23rd, 2025. APT features Rose and Bruno Mars with Die with a Smile, while Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars also contribute with Die with a Smile. Additionally, AAJ Key Rat is performed by Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya. DTMF showcases Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 17th to Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die with a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, and Bail Inolvidable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 27th, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Overcooked 2, Minecraft Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Discover the global top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, to Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. PUBG Battlegrounds, Counter-Strike 2, Dynasty Warriors, Origins, Marvel Rivals, Assetto Corsa EVO, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and the FBI have issued an advisory detailing how threat actors exploited multiple vulnerabilities in Ivanti cloud service applications. DeepSeek AI's DeepSeek R1, specifically the DeepSeek R1-0 variant, showcases impressive reasoning capabilities through extensive reinforcement learning RL, without initial supervised fine-tuning, SFT. This model matches the performance of OpenAI O1 in areas such as math, code, and reasoning. Additionally, DeepSeek R1 Distill Quin32b surpasses OpenAI O1 Mini in numerous benchmarks, setting new records for dense models. NYSE is requesting SEC authorization to allow stock trading for 22 hours each day. Meta is considering reincorporation in Texas or another state to leave Delaware. Costco has increased the hourly wage for the majority of its store employees to more than $30. In the United States, a significant rise of 20.3% in egg prices is anticipated for the year 2025. Additionally, advertisements for Super Bowl 59 in 2025 are projected to reach an unprecedented cost of $16 million per minute. Furthermore, in the European Union, Temu, Shein, and Amazon are expected to be held responsible for any goods that are deemed unsafe or illegal. Superman estate sues Warner Bros. Discovery, DC Comics to block release in key territories. Fire Aid Benefit featured a surprise reunion of surviving members of Nirvana. Jake Gyllenhaal to star in new original film from M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks. Solana experienced a 112% increase in stablecoin supply during January, driven by the Trump memecoin craze, according to CC Data. Grayscale introduced a fund dedicated to Dogecoin as altcoin adoption accelerates. Tether announced a $13 billion profit for 2024, with increasing prices of Bitcoin and gold playing a role. OpenAI introduces the O3 Mini reasoning model, accompanied by a complementary version of ChatGPT. Meanwhile, Microsoft is establishing a dedicated unit to investigate the effects of AI. Additionally, it has been claimed that using profanity causes Google's AI overviews to malfunction. Early adult deaths are increasing in the U.S., with COVID-19 and drug overdoses being significant contributors. Adolescents' mental health may be influenced by exposure to hot and cold temperatures. The World Health Organization has certified Georgia as free of malaria. Several senior FBI leaders told to leave agency or be fired, people familiar with matter say, and FBI agents who worked on January 6 and Trump investigations are expected to be fired Friday. Elon Musk's Doge wants access to the Treasury's payment systems, claimed in a report, and senior U.S. official to exit after rift with Musk allies over payment system. Federal workers told to remove pronouns from email signatures. North Korean troops are reportedly no longer visible on the front lines in Ukraine, having withdrawn after suffering significant losses, according to Ukrainian officials. Meanwhile, the Institute for the Study of War (ISW) claims that Putin will not conclude the war soon due to his planned slow advances. Additionally, Putin has stated that it is shameful to overlook the Soviet role in liberating Nazi death camps. RFK Jr. promises to cease collecting from a vaccine lawsuit if appointed to the cabinet. As stated in RFK Jr. HHS confirmation, Kennedy says he will give up stake in vaccine lawsuit. A letter supporting RFK Jr. to the Senate lists doctors whose licenses were revoked or suspended. RFK Jr. and Bernie Sanders engage in a heated argument over Big Pharma, with RFK Jr. accusing Sanders of accepting pharmaceutical money during an intense hearing. Tron Ares director assures an industrial sound from Nine Inch Nails. Neil Gaiman's The Sandman will conclude with Season 2 on Netflix. A total of 38 movie sequels and spin-offs are scheduled for release in theaters and on streaming platforms in 2025. In the United States, a distributor of ANOM-hardened encrypted devices has been sentenced to 63 months in prison for participating in a racketeering conspiracy. 3 years prior, it was revealed that the FBI's encrypted phone platform had infiltrated hundreds of criminal syndicates, leading to a significant worldwide takedown. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, authorities have arrested 100 suspects during a raid on an online scam farm. Additionally, Tata Technologies has reported that a ransomware attack affected its IT assets, with an investigation currently underway. Panama prepares for potential conflict as Trump's administration hints at a resolution, and a U.S. envoy expresses concerns about China's activities near the Panama Canal. The Kremlin confirms that BRICS is not considering a new currency following Trump's warning of imposing 100% tariffs. Canada declares its backing for workers and businesses in response to Trump's tariff threats. India's exports reached a record $778.21 billion in FY 2023-24. In the upcoming annual budget, Prime Minister Modi may address the economic slowdown and potential trade issues. The budget is expected to include middle-class tax relief to boost growth and aim for a narrower budget gap. A study indicates that Trump tariffs will result in U.S. households paying an additional $830 annually. Research suggests that ancient Roman rule still influences personality and well-being in Germany. The Guardian states that Britain is evidently unable to thrive without immigration, and now the Labour Party must persuade the electorate. An Italian court halts the expulsion of asylum seekers, contesting Meloni's migrant agreement with Albania. The German parliament dismisses an opposition migration bill supported by the far-right AfD. Netanyahu travels to Washington to confer with Trump, aiming to reshape the Middle East. Wall Street Journal remarks that Hamas orchestrates hostage releases into a degrading display for Israel. Hasbara, pro-Israel social media bot, malfunctions, labeling IDF soldiers as white colonizers in apartheid Israel. The Taliban lack the legal authority to access the Afghan fund, which amounts to billions of dollars, according to a U.S. watchdog. Syria's newly appointed interim president embarks on his inaugural foreign visit to Saudi Arabia. Kyrgyzstan, a country with a Muslim majority, has imposed a ban on the niqab. U.S. lawmakers suggest reducing Nvidia's chip supply to China after the DeepSeek incident. Singapore advises U.S. companies to adhere to export controls amid questions about DeepSeek's acquisition of Nvidia chips from Singapore-based firms. Sam Altman indicates that OpenAI will adopt 2 new AI strategies, one from DeepSeek and another from Meta, and he criticizes OpenAI for being on the wrong side of history, advocating for a new open-source policy. ASML CEO views DeepSeek as positive news for semiconductor manufacturers. In the U.S., the deadly Eaton and Palisades fires have been completely contained after 24 days. In Australia's northeast, 1 person has died and thousands have been advised to evacuate due to flooding. Preliminary NTSB data indicates that pilots attempted to raise the nose of a passenger jet within seconds of a deadly DC helicopter collision. Additionally, a soldier has been identified in the DC plane crash, with data suggesting the helicopter might have been too high. India plans to generate 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy by 2047 to support its energy transition, according to the government. Scientists at NIST have created a highly precise method for measuring temperature, using large Rydberg atoms. A UK scientist has received an award for an invention that might prevent a catastrophic event, known as phosphogeddon. Wandering salamanders remain in tree canopies due to their blood-powered toes, which they fill with blood prior to each step. Urban rodent populations increase significantly as the climate warms. According to a study, India has successfully doubled its tiger population over the past decade. Polar bear population declining due to extended energy deficit caused by food scarcity. Arctic groundwater is releasing more carbon into the ocean than previously estimated. Trinity College research indicates that human sheep herding has been practiced for 11,000 years. Trump has signed 3 executive orders, introducing a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, and a 10% tariff on imports from China. China criticizes Trump's tariff decision, stating, "Fentanyl is America's problem." According to Bloomberg, Trump's tariffs aim to address a loophole exploited by Chinese online retailers. Canada plans to impose retaliatory tariffs of 25% on $155 billion worth of U.S. goods in 2 stages, while Mexico has promised to retaliate against Trump's tariffs, but has not specified the targets. Lawsuit alleges that the systems responsible for the OPM government-wide email blast are both unlawful and lack security. Elon Musk's team has now gained access to the Treasury's payment system. Musk asserts that Doge discovered Treasury-approved payments to fraudulent or terrorist groups. Senator Wyden requests explanations after a report revealed Musk personnel attempting to access highly sensitive U.S. Treasury payment system. The Wall Street Journal criticizes Trump's tariff plans, labeling them as the dumbest trade war in history. UK enacts legislation to make AI-generated child abuse images illegal. In the U.S., a fatal border shootout results in 6 deaths and involves a group of experts in AI and transgenderism, with members of this AI fringe group apprehended for 2 murders. Gmail acknowledges AI hacking and alerts its 2.5 billion users. Japan intends to limit exports of semiconductors and quantum computing technology. Meanwhile, Trump plans to impose tariffs on chips produced in Taiwan, specifically targeting TSMC. In response to this threat, Taiwan has indicated it might support its industrial sector. Just 5 days ago, Taiwan asserted that its chip business is mutually beneficial following Trump's tariff warning. Additionally, China cautioned Japan that restricting chip exports could jeopardize supply chains. Grayscale introduces a fund specifically centered on Dogecoin amid increasing altcoin adoption. Coinbase purchases the ads platform Spindle to address the issue of on-chain discovery. Swiss financial institution UBS evaluates blockchain technology for digital gold investments utilizing ZKSYNC. NTSB compels journalists to receive plane crash information via X. The Pentagon ousts NBC, NPR, NYT, and Politico from their offices, intending to replace them with Breitbart and One America News. In the United States, agencies are instructed to clear federal government websites of diversity-related material. Meta has restricted news access in Canada, leading to an increase in scam advertisements. Elon Musk's X is initiating legal action against additional advertisers due to an ad boycott. OpenAI is utilizing the r/ChangeMyView subreddit to evaluate AI persuasion abilities. ML Commons and Hugging Face collaborate to unveil a large speech dataset for AI research. The DeepSeek app maintains the highest global position in downloads, with significant contributions from India. According to reports, ChatGPT subscribers have almost increased to 15.5 million in 2024. A 3D map, the oldest in the world, was found in a Paleolithic cave near Paris, dating back to 18,000 BCE. Apple has reportedly ceased development on augmented reality glasses designed to connect with Macs. Israeli startups are said to be expanding their global reach, following their significant involvement in the war. Former senior advisor to the Federal Reserve faces indictment for economic espionage. The FDA and CISA issue a warning about a backdoor vulnerability in a widely used patient monitor by U.S. hospitals. Polish authorities have taken into custody the former justice chief in connection with the Pegasus spyware scandal. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 31, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 17 to January 23, 2025. APT features Rose and Bruno Mars with Die With a Smile, while Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars also contribute with Die with a Smile. Additionally, AAJ Ki Rat is performed by Madhu Banti Bakshi and Divya. DTMF showcases Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 17 to Thursday, January 23, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die with a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, and Bail Inolvidable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 27, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Overcooked. 2 Minecraft Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Discover the global top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, January 14, 2025, to Tuesday, January 21, 2025. PUBG Battlegrounds, Counter-Strike 2, Dynasty Warriors, Origins, Marvel Rivals, Assetto Corsa EVO, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and the FBI have issued an advisory detailing how threat actors exploited multiple vulnerabilities in Ivanti cloud service applications. DeepSeek AI's DeepSeek R1, specifically the DeepSeek R1-0 variant, showcases impressive reasoning capabilities through extensive reinforcement learning RL, without initial supervised fine-tuning, SFT. This model matches the performance of OpenAI O1 in areas such as math, code, and reasoning. Additionally, DeepSeek R1 Distill Quin32b surpasses OpenAI O1 Mini in numerous benchmarks, setting new records for dense models. Scientists have found traces of saltwater and the building blocks of life in NASA's samples from the asteroid Bennu. Chinese astronauts have successfully produced rocket fuel and oxygen in space using artificial photosynthesis for the first time. A fungus named after David Attenborough is transforming Irish spiders into zombies, as a mind-altering parasite is forcing cave spiders out of their homes in the Green Hills of Ireland. Syria's newly formed government insists that Russia extradite Bashar al-Assad and requests compensation for previous errors during their initial discussions since Assad's downfall. Russia, aiming to maintain its military bases in Syria, describes the talks with the new leader as candid. Meanwhile, Mexico requests that Google refrain from adopting Trump's proposed name change, the Gulf of America. Additionally, Reuters highlights a poll indicating that a significant majority of Greenlanders are against becoming part of the United States. The U.S. Copyright Office states that AI prompts by themselves do not offer enough control over expression to safeguard AI-generated content. However, the office reassures that AI filmmaking tools can be used, and AI-assisted works may qualify for copyright protection if they contain sufficient human creativity. Meanwhile, the Authors Guild has introduced a human author portal to certify that books are the product of human intellect. Additionally, a report reveals that most U.S. teenagers have lost trust in big tech. A study indicates that a significant majority of patients diagnosed with type 2 diabetes are deficient in vitamin D. Research suggests that heavy marijuana use can affect young adults' ability to recall information in the short term. A report reveals that American teenagers are becoming more frequently deceived by fabricated content available online. Electric ferry service powered by batteries to link Spain and Morocco. Saudi Arabia reveals intentions to enrich and export uranium. China constructed a record amount of wind and solar power in 2024. It was reported 7 months ago that China is responsible for building 2/3 of the new wind and solar projects worldwide, according to a report. U.S. investigating whether DeepSeek obtained NVIDIA chips from companies in Singapore. Microsoft offers OpenAI's O1 reasoning model at no cost to all Copilot users. Allen Institute for AI tests DeepSeek on important benchmarks with a large new open-source AI model. Hans Zimmer's concert film, Diamond in the Desert, will be released in theaters in March. The NHL plans to broadcast animated versions of recent games to attract young audiences. Logan and Jake Paul announced their reality show, Paul American, following a viral fight tease. A national audit has uncovered more than 200 legacy systems, indicating a severe and advancing cybersecurity threat to UK government services. According to the Wall Street Journal, Chinese and Iranian hackers are leveraging US AI products to enhance their cyber attacks. Law enforcement has taken control of servers from a cracked and nulled hacking forum and apprehended suspects. Sweden plans to expedite legislation on surveillance for minors following a series of bombings. 2 individuals have been detained after Sweden experienced its 30th explosion since the beginning of the year. The BBC has issued an apology after a review revealed that employees joked about host Russell Brand exposing himself. This comes as the BBC reportedly apologizes to staff who felt unable to voice concerns about Russell Brand. 16 months ago, it was reported that Russell Brand faces new allegations of laughing on a radio show after exposing himself to a woman. In the United States, former Senator Bob Menendez has been sentenced to 11 years in prison on charges of corruption. Hamas releases 8 additional hostages. Israel starts releasing Palestinian prisoners after a delay. The White House stated that Biden allocated $50 million for condoms in Gaza. A Biden official dismissed the claim as a feverish dream. The UN rights chief is requesting $500 million in 2025, cautioning that lives are in jeopardy. Pokémon TCG Pocket's next expansion launches on January 30th. Vintage Pokémon card collecting world rocked by a possible flood of fakes, as millions of dollars worth of vintage Pokémon cards might actually be fakes printed in 2024. Justin Baldoni's Pac-Man movie in doubt amid Blake Lively legal battle. Uber and Lyft are under investigation for potential antitrust violations related to a driver pay agreement in New York City. Meanwhile, Trump's FCC chief has initiated a probe into NPR and PBS. Additionally, Amazon is taking legal action against a state agency to prevent the disclosure of company records to The Washington Post, which is owned by Jeff Bezos. Norway recently detained a ship with a Russian crew, suspected of severing an undersea cable. For days prior, Sweden also seized a ship following allegations of sabotage in the Baltic Sea, though Navabulgar claims the cable was not intentionally cut. Over the past 15 months, at least 11 Baltic cables have been damaged, leading NATO to increase its security measures. Additionally, WhatsApp reported that nearly 100 journalists and civil society members were targeted by Israeli spyware company Paragon. Wiz Research has discovered a DeepSeek database that is leaking sensitive information, such as chat history. Adobe's product leader is transitioning to A24 to work on film projects. OpenAI is seeking tens of billions in new investment to support its financially losing business operations. In a leaked recording of an all-hands meeting, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg admitted that the company failed to capitalize on the rise of TikTok because it initially did not appear to be social enough. During the meeting, Zuckerberg humorously remarked, "Everything I say leaks," indicating his awareness of the frequent sharing of his internal communications. He also urged employees to prepare for an intense year ahead, suggesting that the company would face significant challenges and opportunities. Separately, Meta has agreed to pay $25 million to settle a lawsuit filed by former President Donald Trump after his account was suspended following the events of January 6. Vanity Fair provided commentary on the settlement, suggesting that Meta had more to lose by potentially winning the case. Additionally, Paramount is engaged in settlement talks with Trump over a $10 billion lawsuit related to the 60 Minutes program. This legal action is part of a broader series of disputes involving Trump and various media outlets. Former President Donald Trump has ignited controversy by suggesting that diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) policies may be responsible for a tragic mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. The incident occurred at Reagan-Washington National Airport, where officials have reported that no survivors are expected following the crash. Trump commented that the crash near the national airport looks like it should have been prevented, indicating his belief that the situation could have been avoided. The collision involved a jet and a helicopter, resulting in the aircraft crashing into the river, with more than 60 individuals dead in the aftermath. In a separate development, the White House has addressed concerns over drones originating from New Jersey that caused panic in the area. The White House clarified that these drones were not the enemy and were, in fact, authorized. This statement was made to reassure the public and emphasize that the drones posed no threat. Tether's USDT stablecoin reintegrates with Bitcoin through a partnership with Lightning Labs. Trump Media stock experiences significant gains following the introduction of its new fintech initiative, Truth.fi. JetBlue announces its acceptance of Venmo as the first airline to use the popular payment platform for online bookings. FCA claims that Staley provided false information to regulators regarding his connection with Epstein, and that Staley conversed with Epstein about Madoff, according to the FCA's allegations. 2 years prior, former Barclays CEO Staley was prohibited from working with UK banks due to his underestimation of his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and Barclays faced legal action over the former CEO's association with Jeffrey Epstein. Kalshare, an online prediction market, plans to allow brokerages to participate in its betting activities. Sam Bankman-Fried's parents are considering seeking a Trump pardon for their son. In the United States, a federal law prohibiting handgun sales to individuals aged 18 to 20 has been deemed unconstitutional by an appeals court. Anthropic's CEO views DeepSeek not as adversaries but emphasizes the importance of export controls. Mark Zuckerberg credits DeepSeek with restoring his confidence in making significant investments in AI. Goldman Sachs describes the sell-off caused by DeepSeek as a correction, not the beginning of a bear market. DeepSeek R1 is accessible on Azure AI Foundry and GitHub. The IT minister announced that India will host DeepSeek on local servers to address privacy issues. Wired remarked that DeepSeek has imparted a lesson to AI startups that automakers discovered long ago. Mouse with two fathers reaches adulthood, signifying a scientific breakthrough. 2 years prior, scientists developed mice with two fathers by creating eggs from male cells. The FDA has approved a new non-opioid treatment for moderate to severe acute pain, specifically Vertex Pharmaceuticals' suzetrigine, marking the first introduction of a new class of medicine for acute pain in more than 2 decades. A study indicates that microplastics present in placentas may be associated with premature births. Vodafone achieves the first-ever space video call, using a regular mobile phone and commercial satellites designed for comprehensive mobile broadband services. Apple currently boasts over 2.35 billion active devices globally. Yandex creates and releases Perforator, an open-source tool that helps businesses cut CPU resource usage by 20% each year on server infrastructure. Tesla to launch its self-driving robotaxi service in Austin in June, confirms Elon Musk. Opel, Fiat and Dacia plummet in German electric car sales in 2024, and Tesla slides in German EV ranking as new registrations plummet 41%. Waymo is reportedly building a charity tipping feature into its robotaxi app. ECB cautions about challenges facing the Eurozone economy, while reducing the rate to 2.75%. The U.S. economy expanded at a robust 2.3% rate in the last quarter, fueled by rising consumer spending, with a growth of 2.8% in 2024, although it decelerated towards the year's end. Trump reiterates his threat of tariffs to deter BRICS nations from considering alternatives to the U.S. dollar. Microsoft's cloud expansion is limited due to a lack of data centers. According to a source, SoftBank is negotiating to invest up to $25 billion in OpenAI. Google is providing a voluntary exit option for all its U.S. employees working on platforms and devices. Chinese state media attributes a cyber attack that disrupted DeepSeek to the U.S. OpenAI collaborates with U.S. national laboratories on scientific research and nuclear weapons security. DeepSeek launches with an 83% failure rate in NewsGuard's chatbot Red Team audit. Bill Gates supports Doge if it helps reduce government debt, suggesting they must address pensions, defense, and healthcare. The Trump White House cancels the order that halted federal spending, changing its previous stance. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promotes AI as a solution for challenges faced by rural hospitals. Experts might have discovered a new Vincent van Gogh portrait at a garage sale in Minnesota. The Design Museum in London showcases the Final World of Tim Burton exhibition, featuring 600 set props and additional items. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin declares a $1 million reward for successfully decoding the Indus Valley script. The U.S. Department of Justice initiates legal action to prevent Hewlett-Packard Enterprise from proceeding with its $14 billion acquisition of Juniper. A legal complaint alleges that Amazon has been discreetly monitoring consumers using their cell phones. Uber takes legal steps against law firms and clinics, claiming they are involved in insurance fraud. In the United States, the Department of Justice's LGBTQ employee group has been disbanded after operating for 30 years. In the United States, federal agencies have been instructed to terminate programs that promote gender ideology. A Pentagon agency has temporarily halted celebrations for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Black History Month, and other events. In Berlin, a large gathering took place to oppose the far-right's support for a more stringent migration policy. Meanwhile, Austria's Kurz has criticized Merkel for the increase in the far-right AfD's influence in Germany. Recently, Merkel has also condemned the CDU leader for collaborating with the far-right AfD. In Norway, a Eurosceptic party has exited the government, resulting in the departure of nearly half of the cabinet. Additionally, Trump has instructed Guantanamo Bay to make preparations to accommodate up to 30,000 migrants. UN Secretary-General calls for the evacuation of 2,500 children from Gaza, citing doctors' warnings of an immediate risk of death. A top Hamas leader indicates the group might relinquish control of Gaza after the war, expressing openness to discussions with the U.S. on the matter. The European Union cautions Pakistan that its duty-free exporter status is contingent upon advancements in human rights and media freedom. Elon Musk acknowledges that Tesla must update old computers for those purchasing FSD. CEOs of LVMH's watch and jewelry divisions anticipate a rise in luxury sales by 2025. The vestigial human ear-wiggling muscle is found to flex when we exert effort to listen.
Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawler's latest edition, January 29, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from January 17th to January 23rd, 2025. APT features Rose and Bruno Mars with Die with a Smile, while Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars also contribute with Die with a Smile. Additionally, AAJ Key Rat is performed by Madhubanti Bagchi and Divya. DTMF showcases Bad Bunny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, January 17th to Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. DTMF by Bad Bunny. Die with a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT. By Rose and Bruno Mars, and Bail Inolvidable by Bad Bunny. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting January 27th, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Overcooked. 2 Minecraft, Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Discover the global top-selling and top-played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, to Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. PUBG Battlegrounds, Counter-Strike 2, Dynasty Warriors, Origins, Marvel Rivals, Assetto Corsa EVO, Path of Exile 2, Dota 2. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA and the FBI have issued an advisory detailing how threat actors exploited multiple vulnerabilities in Ivanti cloud service applications. DeepSeek AI's DeepSeek R1, specifically the DeepSeek R1-0 variant, showcases impressive reasoning capabilities through extensive reinforcement learning RL, without initial supervised fine-tuning SFT. This model matches the performance of OpenAI O1 in areas such as math, code, and reasoning. Additionally, DeepSeek R1 Distill Qwen32b surpasses OpenAI O1 Mini in numerous benchmarks, setting new records for dense models. Iran's Revolutionary Guards commander announced that Iran acquired Russian Sukhoi 35 fighter jets. North Korean cannons intended to devastate Seoul are being deployed to the front lines in Ukraine. Russia has released a school textbook claiming it was compelled to invade Ukraine. The UK population is expected to increase to 72.5 million by 2032, according to the ONS, primarily due to a rise in net migration. President Trump has issued an order to prevent federal funding for gender transitions for minors. President Trump has brought back service members who were discharged for not complying with the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Frank Lloyd Wright's Soul skyscraper is set to be sold for $1.4 million following a lengthy legal battle. A new HomePod hub featuring a 7-inch screen is scheduled to launch in 2025. The GTA Vice City Next Gen Edition fan project has been released, with modders intensifying their efforts despite opposition from Take-Two. Reuters indicates that Russian oil refining is increasing as U.S. sanctions focus on crude exports, According to sources, NATO states that the threat to plot the murder of the Rheinmetall CEO was part of a sabotage campaign. 6 months prior, the US and Germany thwarted a Russian plot to assassinate the CEO of the arms manufacturer supplying weapons to Ukraine. Denmark is increasing its Arctic defense spending by $2.1 billion, influenced by US pressure. In the United States, recent research reveals that baby boomers possess $17 trillion of the nation's total home equity, suggesting that the silver tsunami may result in a significant transfer of wealth to the children of baby boomer homeowners. New Zealand is simplifying the process for digital nomads to work, aiming to support its ailing economy. Saudi Arabia has risen 15 positions to rank 12th in global tourist expenditure, according to UN Tourism. Pakistan's Senate approves a ban on fake news on social media, prompting protests from journalists over the bill's provisions for controlling social media content. South Sudan reinstates Facebook and TikTok after their suspension. Google pledges to tackle fake reviews in the UK following a 5-year investigation. Sam Altman remarked that startups with just $10 million were completely hopeless in competing with OpenAI. It has been commented as DeepSeek's actions suggest otherwise. DeepSeek's breakthrough, likened to a Sputnik moment, has led to a decline in AI-related stocks, causing tech stocks to fall as U.S. concerns about China's DeepSeek in the AI race grow. Scientific American notes that AI is too unpredictable to align with human objectives. Meanwhile, Meta AI is now able to utilize data from Facebook and Instagram to tailor its responses. Trump mentions that Microsoft is negotiating to buy TikTok. Google Maps will display Gulf of America and MT McKinley for U.S. users, following Google's decision to categorize the U.S. as a sensitive country similar to China and Russia. Influenced by Trump's Gulf of America remarks, the French foreign minister suggests the possibility of deploying troops to Greenland. Curiosity rover discovers ancient water ripples on Mars, suggesting a history of shallow, ice-free lakes. A study proposes that habitable planets might have emerged at the universe's beginning. In Denmark, a 66-million-year-old fish vomit from the dinosaur era has been found. Major League Soccer is relocating its studio shows to WWE headquarters as part of a broader agreement with IMG. Porsche Penske Motorsport has achieved its 20th win at the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona event. Neymar's contract with Al Hilal has been ended following an injury-plagued period, with Santos preparing for his return as the Brazil forward's future becomes clearer. 200 UK companies have committed to a permanent 4-day workweek. A Gartner Finance survey indicates that CFOs intend to reduce pay increases once more in 2025. Spotify discloses $10 billion in music industry payouts for 2024. China indicates readiness to bring back confirmed Chinese citizens residing in the U.S. Italy dispatches an additional 49 migrants to Albania for processing, despite previous court denials. Trump takes steps to expel 1.4 million migrants who entered under Biden's parole initiatives. Research indicates that global warming could result in millions of heat-related deaths across Europe. Meanwhile, Mumbai is considering a prohibition on petrol and diesel vehicles due to air pollution issues. Additionally, Osaka has implemented a ban on street smoking in preparation for Expo 2025. Trump announces plans to implement tariffs on semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, and certain metals. DeepSeek's AI application has been alleged to transmit user data, conversations, and all uploaded files to servers located in China. A proposed new bill in the United States Congress would permit AI systems to generate prescriptions. Elon Musk claims his $1 million election giveaway was legal since the winners were not chosen randomly. 3 months prior, Musk announced a $1 million giveaway for voters who signed a petition in key battleground states. Additionally, an analysis indicates that the Trump memecoin likely generated at least $11 million in fees. Furthermore, it is reported that Denmark and other countries are under pressure and are seeking lobbyists with connections to Trump. Scientists reveal a brain-computer interface enabling users to pilot a virtual drone using their thoughts. Microplastics are detected in the brains of mice shortly after ingestion. An epigenetic study discovers that sperm cells contain remnants of childhood stress. China Vank CEO and chairman step down amid growing worries over a projected $6.2 billion loss. HSBC plans to withdraw from M&A and capital markets operations in the UK, Europe, and the US. Ray Dalio cautions that Wall Street's AI bubble mirrors the dot-com era's excesses. US children fall further behind in reading, make little improvement in math on national exam. Less than 220,000 Holocaust survivors left worldwide, study finds. Musk's comments that Germany should move beyond Nazi guilt are dangerous, says Holocaust Memorial Chair. Anthropic is introducing citations, a new API feature that enables Claude to base its responses on source documents, as part of RAG. The Vatican has released a document on AI, cautioning against the development of a substitute for God. OpenAI claims to have evidence that China's DeepSeek utilized its model for training the competitor. Microsoft is investigating whether a group linked to DeepSeek improperly acquired OpenAI data. The SEC has withdrawn a contentious rule that barred banks from holding cryptocurrency. X has revealed a collaboration with Visa to enhance X Money's wallet functionality, with X indicating that its payment service will be available in 2025. France has initiated an investigation into Binance due to suspicions of money laundering. The European Union is considering a prohibition on the sale of gaming consoles to Russia, citing their potential use in controlling drones. Additionally, the EU is making arrangements for sanctions targeting Russian aluminum, 15 banks, and the Shadow Fleet, according to Bloomberg. Meanwhile, Brazil has declared Cuba, Bolivia, and 7 other nations as new members of the BRICS organization. Furthermore, North Korea's leader, Kim, has pledged to indefinitely enhance the country's nuclear program. Apple and SpaceX collaborate to enhance Starlink satellite network compatibility with iPhones. Huawei plans to introduce new devices in 2025 that will operate on its native Harmony OS, moving away from Android, as the Chinese government intensifies efforts to promote Harmony OS, establishing adoption goals to surpass Windows, Android, and iOS. The Norway Wealth Fund reports a record annual profit of $222 billion, driven by the tech boom. White House opens doors to new media, allocates seats in press briefing room, as White House to open media access to podcasters, influencers. It has been commented as Trump leans on World War II Japanese incarceration law to deport immigrants. Trump offering federal workers buyouts with about 8 months' pay in effort to shrink government. The White House is assessing the impact of the China AI application DeepSeek on national security. The U.S. Navy has prohibited the use of DeepSeek because of security and ethical concerns. According to White House AI czar David Sachs, DeepSeek was developed using OpenAI models. KuCoin admits guilt in cryptocurrency case, commits to $300 million payment. United Kingdom expresses concerns over cloud competition, identifying Microsoft and Amazon as major players. Researchers suggest modifying Linux code could reduce data center energy consumption by 30%. Block Open Source unveils Codename Goose, an open framework designed for AI agents. Alibaba announces the release of an AI model that it asserts exceeds the capabilities of DeepSeek v3. LinkedIn takes action by deleting accounts of AI coworkers who are actively seeking employment opportunities. Roseanne Barr is planning a comeback with a new comedy series centered on a family that saves America with guns, the Bible, petty crime, and alcoholism. Dolly Parton's musical about her life will debut in Nashville and then move to Broadway in 2026. The Mona Lisa will have her own room as the Louvre expands to address overcrowding. Macron visits the Louvre amid reports of disrepair, raising concerns about the Mona Lisa, and Italy is ready to welcome the Mona Lisa due to Louvre infrastructure issues. GLP-1 drug use reduces grocery expenses by 6%, according to a study. The UK fertility watchdog reports that technology for lab-grown eggs or sperm is nearing viability. China declares it extremely unlikely that the COVID pandemic originated from a lab leak, while the CIA suggests otherwise. In the US, Rand Paul has subpoenaed 14 agencies regarding the origins of COVID-19. Conor McGregor criticizes pro-Palestine marches in Ireland and suggests that displaying the Hamas flag should be classified as a serious offense. UNRWA is making arrangements to close its activities in East Jerusalem due to the upcoming Israeli ban. 2 individuals linked to ISIS are included in the 17 people apprehended during a collaborative operation by Interpol and Afropol in Kenya. MGM has consented to a settlement of $45 million for individuals affected by the 2019 data breach and the 2023 ransomware incident. Recent side-channel attacks on Apple's new CPU compromised browser data. The highly anticipated Chinese AI application DeepSeek claims to have experienced